I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
That is full of Vietnamese flavors.
I can actually smell that through my laptop.
Man, we had Vietnamese for dinner. It was great. Had General Joe's chicken, nice and
Like
spicy.
he always has.
General
one dish he
Cho's?
orders.
Isn't it General Chow's chicken? Isn't that like...
Yeah, whatever. There's many versions of the same name.
Is it like CHOW or how's it written?
No, it's TSO. I think it's like General
Oh.
So or some shit,
So,
but I was like,
okay.
whatever.
Cool.
I've heard it called General Joe's in the US.
So you went with the US version of all
It is
the
a
versions.
US thing. It's not actually like Asian food. It's like invented by white people for white people.
Invented for white people.
And it was fucking good.
Yeah.
Gotta say, I am a fan.
It's been a long time since I ate Chinese.
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese.
It's
Yeah,
actually
Vietnamese.
Chinese, I think. I don't think it is actually Vietnamese. It's like American Chinese, but they sell it at this
Oh, shut
Vietnamese
up. They're
restaurant.
good food. And they're nice people. She was very nice.
Yeah, but
I got
last
to order
time
from the kids menu.
last time I did it, I had a bad experience.
Oh, why?
Well, I was trying to eat the Vietnamese, but didn't stop screaming. I'm sorry.
Why?
Do you
Why?
expect any less from Andy?
No,
Like,
not
honestly?
really. Okay, let's get going. Welcome to this week's episode of the At Random podcast. I'm your host, Ali. I'm joined by the blank something.
Oh, come on now.
Blank.
She had
I
a
know you're
fucking
gonna
brain
say.
aneurysm or something.
Yeah, I know you're gonna say something mean. Just say it.
I was gonna say an insult, but I was gonna say fag smoking Andy, but then I remembered Alex used that last time, so I was like, I can't say that again.
Oh, you have to like call me a different name every episode.
Yeah.
Fine. Is that what it is? Okay. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andy.
Hey Andy, how are you today?
Not so well now. I had a good day up until now. It's all right.
And I'm also joined by my beer sniffing husband, Alex.
Better than being a glue sniffer, all right? There's plenty of those going around.
Why do you
Sniff beer, not
Why do
glue
you
people.
sniff your beers though?
So that, because smell is a
It's not
huge
wine.
part of your taste.
What are you
So then
smelling?
you-
The carbon? It's like fucking
No, this-
bubbles.
This is a fancy beer, my friend. It's
All
a
right.
fancy
What are
beer.
we
You need to
drinking?
smell.
What are we drinking? Suggest something to
It's
the
a
people.
Northern Exposure Brewing Co. Huggin and Munnin.
It's a Bud Light.
What's the rating?
3.5 out of 5. It's disappointing.
Yeah. All
That
right.
was anticlimactic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, speaking of legacies, today I want to have an open and candid discussion about children.
Oh God. Okay.
It's
No.
our
Like
idea,
I
mind, Andy.
don't hear enough about children during the day. I get off on my off time, do this podcast, have to listen to fucking kids again. Jesus. All right, fucking let's
You're
do
not
it.
talking to kids, you're talking to two adults. And
Yeah,
we're talking...
it says you.
One adult. You are a baby, Ali.
I'm not. I was happy though that I got to order from the kids menu today.
Wait, you ordered from the kids menu today?
Yeah.
Yeah, they let her.
Oh God.
No, but the thing is, 'cause, for my dear listeners, just a side note quickly, I have gallstone, gallstones in my
Yeah.
gallbladder,
Yeah.
and also ulcer problems.
Yeah.
But the doctors don't know if it's ulcer or the gallstones. They don't know.
Stomach ulcer, not a gallbladder ulcer.
Yeah, the stomach ulcer. So the other day, I was taken in by an ambulance to the hospital
Yeah.
because I was dying.
Yeah. Because it was Thursday.
Because it was Thursday.
Yeah. Isn't that like your usual fucking...
No, I said because I was dying.
Yeah, I know, but it was Thursday, so Thursday is...
No, Thursday
your
was yesterday.
ambulance
Yesterday
day,
I went
right?
to the first... No, I went on Tuesday to the emergency room.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday I went to the other emergency room because I got bit by my rat.
It's just on
I'm
and off
doing
with
my
you. This woman
yearly
sees-
tour.
She doesn't say hi, nurse. She calls them by their first name at this point. She like
Seriously,
Yeah.
the Nazis would have loved to experiment on you because, like, you're
And
so
she-
readily available.
The thing is, she wouldn't die. Like any fucking
Exactly.
experiment, she would
Just
not die.
chopping limbs off and they're just growing back, but then you come back for another problem willingly, like, please help me, I'm sick. And they're like, all right,
like
well,
a seed-
what if we put your
It's like
stomach
a
in your
seed-
brain?
Yeah, it's like a seed from Scary Movie. Like, it's my strong hand. Like a tiny hand coming from... All right.
Fuck off. Yeah, but whatever. Yeah, so I have to eat light food, and I didn't want to eat too much. So, and sometimes, obviously, in restaurants, they don't, as I'm told, they don't let you order from the kids menu.
Okay.
But she was like, "No, it's okay. You're a kid," and I was like,
Yeah.
She didn't give a shit. She was like, whatever. It's
Did you get like the little plate with the coloring pencils so you can color while you wait for your food? Was that a thing they did as well?
Yeah.
No, she went and
Okay.
played in the ball pit with the other Corona kids.
"Off with you." Yeah, no. But anyway, so
Okay.
why
so,
we started talking about this? But
yeah. Okay. So kids, go
Kids!
on. What do you want to talk about?
Yes, I want to have like an open discussion because obviously, me and Alex as a couple have decided to not have kids.
Yeah.
It's something that's very frowned upon. I've noticed that people like, what, really?
No.
And people always try to like, no, you'll change your mind.
No.
You'll get around to it. One day you'll have them. Blah blah blah. You should have kids. Blah. And it's just like it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. So you want to talk about that first, about the fact that people are pressuring or like sort of like convincing you that, oh, you'll have them anyway and blah blah blah.
We just the stigmatize around like
Not
couples
wanting
not wanting to
kids.
have. Yeah, because I've noticed it's fairly big that people judge you upon
Yeah.
that.
Look, I have 3 kids. One that is not mine, has a different daddy. I still have the feeling that I'm more of a father to her, and these are big words, I know, but I'm more of a father to that kid than her actual father will ever be, because of drugs and alcohol, basically. Well, not only that, and like a dipshit attitude as well. He's a gigantic fucking cunt, basically.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, I have 3. One that is not mine, but I'm raising, and I love every second of that. That was a pure like joy to do in the beginning, just having one kid. True, it's not yours, but like after a while, I was starting to wonder, oh, what would it be like to have my own, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when me and Vicky got married, I knocked her up, and out comes Jace. Jace was my firstborn, and after that, 4 years later, Katara joined us. By the way, the people wondering where we came up with the name Katara is basically from the show The Last Airbender.
Good show.
Which is, you know, great fucking name, great fucking character. I love that show. But yeah, so Katara joined in. I have 3 now. To say that I would not want him anymore would be rude.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would never say that. But given the option of between not having kids and having 3 kids, to be honest, I don't know which one I would pick, because there's so much satisfaction in both. It's a different satisfaction, but it is satisfaction nonetheless. On the one hand, if you choose life you guys will lead, you'll have everything you want to do. You get to live a selfish life, which is fine. Like, look, selfishness is fucking fine as I'm concerned, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. Right? So I'm all for it, but I think I'm not making you do anything, but I think you should act towards that and actively try not to have kids by doing what I did, like I have 3 now, I'm content, I don't want any more kids, I got a vasectomy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Your rats ate my nuts. You sent me a video of that.
We should probably post that somewhere because that's fucking epic.
Yeah, there's a video out there from Alex and Ali sacrificing my nuts the day I was in the hospital. And then after that video, they set it on fire or like smashed it with a hammer. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I smashed it with my hands and fed it to my rats.
Yeah, you smashed like
the picture's still up in our living room.
Oh yeah,
smashed like a walnut on some hard surface, which smashed nuts. And they decided to send that to me the day I was in the hospital to get my vasectomy done. I think that would be a good option for you. If you're adamant about not having kids, then I think you should try to prevent from doing harm, which is having an unwanted child and then having to get rid of it. Is basically.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even if like we accidentally get pregnant, I like would consider maybe aborting it like from the beginning.
Yeah.
But like if for some chance, like obviously I'm older now, we say we don't want to have kids, but you never know.
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly,
down the line.
exactly.
And who knows, like when you're in that situation, what the decision would be. Yeah. I know, for example, that Alex really doesn't want to have kids, and I respect that.
Children with a passion,
which is so funny because when we first met, he's like, "I want you to have my kids," and I was like.
No, that's him telling you I want my pee-pee inside of your vagina.
Exactly.
That's
and then as I got older, I realized more and more how annoying children are. It's like, no.
But that's
my brother had
the
kids, and now I'm like, even more, nope.
But that's the thing. That's what I wanted to hit on. So I do believe that if you decide not to have kids, like I said, be selfish without doing harm, not take away the kid if something happens, because that is your choice to then have unprotected, unsafe sex, right? So I do think that you need to consider doing that either in the close future or in the future. But if you do have kids, and that's the weird fucking thing, I never wanted 3. I wanted to have 1, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not stuck with 3. I'm enjoying my 3 kids. The problem... The only weird thing about having kids is, and this is what I wanted to touch on with Alex, you hate them. Not a single fucking parent will tell you this, but this is absolute fucking truth. Any parent that tells you they feel differently is fucking lying. You hate them. 7 hours in a day. And then they'll look up to you and they'll hug you out of nowhere. And that's where you feel your parent. Like, you become a parent. You don't live for gigantic good days. You live for these small fucking moments where this kid is vulnerable and it comes to you and it shows you, and you know as a parent that you are the only one in the world out of 7 billion people that this kid is gonna come to for help, for reassurance, for love, for affection, for whatever. That's when it hits you. That's when you are a parent. The rest of the time, it's just But the rest of the time, it's just yelling at them and telling them to sit fucking still, keep their mouth shut, sit at a table,
eat your shit,
fucking,
don't play with it,
eat your fucking food, fucking. That's the thing. It's a gigantic fucking mindfuck. I genuinely believe if you guys were to have a kid, you would be bang up parents.
I'll whip that cunt into shape.
And you'd still hate
about that.
Alex. You would still hate kids, but you would love that one.
That's the thing. Like for me, for example, like I don't feel the need to, like, to be completely honest, it scares the shit out of me.
Well, it is scary.
And I don't think I'll ever get away from that fear.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, maybe as we get older and we settle down, I would look into maybe adopting or fostering kids.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather help out than providing more
Yeah.
into the world. Like I
Yeah.
don't. It's hard. Like for me, it's hard. Like because you somewhere you have that maternal instinct. Like I want to have something that I grew. Look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want, but at the same time, I'm
Is that
like,
your mommy voice?
yeah.
Man, want some milk?
Man, I don't want her to ever have a kid because, like, I've seen how she is with fucking rats.
Yeah.
God forbid if we had a kid.
Plus, you have the
Human
extra
being.
fear of maybe coming home and Ali might be sacrificing her own kid this time.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, it would save me a lot of money.
No,
No,
but
for me, for
get
example,
it.
like
I
the
get it.
breaking point was like when we like this is gonna sound so stupid, but like when we sterilized my cat a few years back.
Yeah.
You're right. It does sound stupid.
Yeah, so we sterilized, and she was in so much pain, and she
Mhm.
was screaming, and I swear to God, I went in full on fucking depression mode, and I was
Okay.
like, what is the meaning of life? I can't save this creature, she's in pain. Why do I live? Why do we all live? Like I just gonna kill myself. Nothing is worth it anymore. Like I literally, like, this was when me and Alex were doing distance and he was back in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I literally called him in the middle of the night in Australia, like bawling my eyes out, like, is
Okay.
it okay if we don't have kids? I don't think I can do it, man. And he's like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
So at first I
okay.
was just crying, and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like,
I didn't get it anyway because, I mean, it's like, yeah, like your cat's in pain, you feel bad, but like in 3 days it will be better.
I don't know.
I've seen my own kid throw up a gallon of fucking blood. Seriously.
Ugh.
I would kill
Sometimes
myself. By that point, I was like,
Ah,
bye.
dude, like it was after a surgery, all right? So he had kissing tonsils. That's basically when your tonsils, when you're young, your tonsils touch each other. Yeah.
Oof,
And what happens
jeez.
is your speech gets impaired by that. You don't swallow correctly. So we had to actually up until 2 years old, because they can't do surgery on that before he's 2 years old. So basically what happened was, because it grows back, tonsils, they grow back. And so
Yeah.
basically what happened was they cut out the tonsil or burned out the tonsils. They had to do a surgery in his nose, and at the same time they had to put in like little tubes in his ears because he was getting ear infections, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first day is going well, he's sitting up, he wants to play. We're like, oh, fucking, this is okay. We come home. We have like this brown rug. We still have it, by the way. We have like this.
Was it brown before or after?
This is after. So we come home right after the hospital. He's like, yeah, I'm hungry. We're thinking like, oh, we'll give him something like soft, like a yogurt with cheese. You know, something just light, something that isn't
Yogurt
too.
with cheese?
Yeah, there's like goat cheese yogurt, and it's very light for a kid's stomach. So a lot of parents know that if they react too heavily to milk yogurts that's based on milk, they give like a goat cheese, which is a little lighter. So basically, we give him this. I think a half an hour later, I see my son just lose all color from his face. Like you can literally see just his face like goes zoop, and it's white. He's just white, and he just goes, "Daddy," and starts spewing this black fucking liquid. I thought Satan was finally leaving his body. By the way, I was mistaken about that. He's still a shithead.
Oh, he's related to you. What did you expect?
Dude, this fountain of black fucking liquid. So we start to fucking freak out like any fucking good parent would do, screaming, you know. We call the doctor's office. The doctor's like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's good. That's good. We're like, he's spewing fucking black liquid. No, he's like, that's blood. Blood doesn't digest in the stomach. So it has to come out somewhere. So it's out. It's good. He'll probably puke up a couple of more times. Meanwhile, in the background, I'm hearing, "Ah!" So I'm like, oh yeah, he's doing that right now. So that was the scariest fucking moment for me, for as a father, to see your son, your young 2-year-old kid, spewing up fucking black liquid.
Mm.
Yeah, so there are scared moments in that. The thing is, when you're a parent, you just toughen the fuck up. Because you know there's, like, going back to the hospital is an option, calling people is an option. It's 2020, you have options out there. You shouldn't be scared. If something happens to your kid because you freaked out and you did the wrong thing, you know, then that's on you. But if you have a level head and you go up against it, then it's fucking fine. Like, it's
Yeah,
good.
no, I can imagine. But I think, like I said, like the incident with the cat. But I think what put that nail in the coffin for me was seeing my best friend's 3-year-old daughter getting diagnosed with cancer, and seeing her go through that treatment was horrible. Like cancer is horrible in general, but obviously trying to explain it to a kid, for example, because for her, for example, she wouldn't eat, so they had to put in a feeding tube, and the feeding tube goes in through the nose, and obviously like kids panic, and she would have like panic attacks and trying to rip this tube out, which she did a few times. But I remember she would have fits like 1 or 2 times a day, like full on like rage, crying and screaming. And like I remember coming in one day to them, and we were gonna go out shopping. My friend was like, "We'll have to wait because she's having a fit," and she was like, "Just ignore her." And like this kid, like 3-year-old kid, like clinging to your legs, screaming like, "Help me, help me." And you can't even look at her because you're just like crying, but like you don't want her to see that, or you can't help her. And it was like, bye. I'm checking out.
Yeah. But it's good that you realize your own potential as, let's say, a parent in advance. What I am going to say is, if you were a parent, you would deal with it, period.
I know, but like, I don't think I mentally could.
Yeah.
If it was somebody that I can't.
If it was somebody else's kid, I'd probably react the exact same way, even now as a parent. But if it's your kid, it's totally different. Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a hypothetical here for a moment. Alex goes into surgery tomorrow, does a vasectomy, no more kids, it's done. How you feeling about that? About that idea of not having the chance to have children?
With me,
not basically having kids, but like not having the chance to have kids with the man you chose as a life partner.
But that's the thing, is like that's why Alex hasn't gotten a vasectomy yet, because we're still fairly young. We don't know how we will feel in 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not waiting. I said when I turn 30, which is 18 months, then I'm going to freeze some sperm and just get it done. Because you can always do IVF and stuff. Like,
you'll have semen for the rest of your fucking life, buddy. It's fine. You don't need to put it in a jar.
No, I'm going to freeze it in and get the snip.
You just want an excuse to swing the horse cock in a hospital around. That's
I'm going to freeze it in and get the snip. And just call it a day. Yeah. And then if you ever want a kid, go to the hospital and dig it up. Go find it.
But that's the thing, because like I don't know how I'm going to feel in 5 years or stuff like that. So obviously that's why we haven't done that. Like we protect ourselves. Like I use contraceptives so we don't get pregnant.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah. It's really annoying. But at the same time, it's like you never know.
Yeah, but I think it's good. I'm gonna talk about this for a second. If there's any couples out there or guys and gals, listen. If you're done with kids, if you don't want to have kids like Alex and Ali, get a vasectomy. Never touch the woman, let her have her periods and shit like that, because like for a woman it's a lot more difficult and more expensive, by the way. Like if the physical fucking thing doesn't attract you, then the fucking financial thing might stop you from doing it. Leave the woman be, get a vasectomy. It's a walk in the park. I gotta say, I was uncomfortable. I can't call it pain because it wasn't pain, but I was uncomfortable for 2 days, and I felt it for like 3 weeks without pain. Like just feeling where the wounds are, and after 3 weeks the threads came out, and like they just like these are self-dissolvent threads they use to sew you back up. And when I went under in the hospital, it was like I fell asleep. And because they said like, oh, we're gonna give you some oxygen. These fucking assholes, man. They were like, we're gonna give you some oxygen. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. You know, why would I need more oxygen? You know, there's in the room, there's oxygen. But apparently, I fell
you're a
for
dumbass, is what you're saying. You're
I'm
not
just willing to go with anything at that point. Like,
so were you the kid? They're like, hey kid, you want to see my puppy? And they're a big white van with like that window,
and end up sucking his cock. Yeah, of course I was. Yeah, that was me all the way. Like, if a doctor came up to me and said, oh, we have to do a rectal exam before we chop your dick off, then, you know, that's fucking fine. Just shove them all in.
All right, father, doctor, man. I'll bend over.
Why are you dressed like a Catholic priest, sir?
Oh my god.
But anyway, like, really, the vasectomy it's nothing. I went in, they said, you want some oxygen? I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And they put a mask on me, fucking 2 seconds. Bam, I'm out. Like, out fucking cold. I swear to God. I wake up from the best fucking nap of my life. And I'm like to this nurse that's walking around. I see, oh, you're awake? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I must have dozed off a little bit. And she's like, no, surgery's done. I'm like, wait, what? And so I felt around on my dick. And there's like gauze and shit like that around it. Like there's like these tapes that they put on your nutsack. And I'm like, oh, it's done. Okay, well, that was a fucking good nap. I'm like, can I stay here for a couple of days? Because I got 3 kids at home. It's like, I'm not getting any sleep there.
I got a serious question for you.
Yeah.
Did they do a good job shaving? Like, do you basically get a free bowl shave while you're at it?
Dude, like, again, we've been over this. I'm bisexual. I got a feminine side. I am always fucking clean shaven.
You did it yourself.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, if someone's going to shave my balls to me for like included in the surgery, like, fuck yeah, go ahead. I'm not going to shave for like a month now. Just fucking knock yourself out. It's free. It's like getting a free haircut.
Yeah, but like, no. I went in fully fucking shaven. Like, I was good. I think the woman or the guy that shaves the balls went in with like a bucket and like a razor blade, because I didn't get a chance to sell him. They were too busy giving me quote unquote oxygen. So they probably came in with a tray of water and like soap and a razor blade, and was like, fuck, I don't have any work today. That's like, it's fucking clean here. Jesus. He was like, how the fuck did he do that? And by the way, for everybody that man grooms or like shaves, because I'm a complete baldy. Right,
I'm just to keep it tidy.
I'm not a trimming sort of guy. I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't like it. Plus, I like the fucking feeling on flesh. I don't need a fucking bush in between me and vagina. So
fair.
If you're shaving yourself down there and you're completely bald, which I know a lot of people are, by the way. Try and use the Venus blades from the brand Venus with like the soap bars on top and the soap bars on bottom. Yeah, dude, it's don't you know best. Women got it fucking right.
No, female razors suck.
Dude, no, they don't.
Worst.
They fucking don't.
I know women that deliberately buy men's razors because we get good ones because they're made to trim your facial hair.
I can show you my Venus blade right now. I got it in the shower.
But I think what Andy likes is the soap bar that comes with a Venus.
Yeah, you can get that on male ones.
Can you get them on male ones?
I think so.
I don't know.
It's
literal.
Usually,
what we have as male blades are like cushions. These are little
the gel cushion.
Yeah. No. These are literal like small bars of soap on the bottom of the blades and on top, and it's just
when you
don't even have to soap up. Yeah, you don't even have to fucking soap up. You just go for it.
Yourself up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's get back into it.
All right.
What is another point I want to touch on? Yeah, no. So obviously me not want to have kids comes out of fear, but like I said, like I'm more willing to want to adopt when I'm older or foster kids because there's so many kids that get stuck in the system. I'm
I think you got a good idea going if you don't want to have kids, but you're from your own, and like, but you do want. You know what the best thing about it is? Mm-hmm. You. This is gonna sound so fucking mean. You get to skip the crappy years.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of years are so dude, you have no time for yourself.
But my counterpoint is.
Kids are awkward at that age.
But if you foster, say, a teenager and they're a cunt because they came from a broken family, you got to whip them into shape.
Yeah.
And the teenager will push your limits far more than any, like, 3-year-old kid. Because a 3-year-old, you're crafting into the human you want them to be. Whereas you're just, if you foster, you're taking something that some shitty parent usually has already fucked up.
There is a saying here in Belgium, little kids, little problem, big kids, bigger problem.
Yep.
You'll basically have problems no matter what. What I am saying, however, if you skip the baby phase, you don't have to change diapers every 2 hours. You don't have to feed them 3 times a day. Like separately, you get to put a plate in front of them, which everybody is eating anyway. So, it's just peeling an extra potato. It's not making separate food. Like with Katara.
Yeah,
with Katara, she's having problem from the get-go where she was a little bloated. She reacted weird to her first milk and shit like that. She had skin issues because of that. Basically, we found out she's allergic to everything with cow milk, which is in every fucking baby product ever. So then you have that bullshit you have to go through and give her cow milk a little bit at a time so her immune system kicks in. You get to skip that phase where you do all the testing. They come at you and they're like, "Oh, I'm allergic to peanuts." Well, fucking fine, no peanuts then.
True. Plus a kid of say 12 can actually tell you what is wrong. You're like, "What's wrong? How are you feeling?" And they're like, "Well, they can put it into words." Like,
well, true.
This is wrong with me.
I don't think that's a good counterpoint. I'll tell you why. Baby phase, toddler phase, fucking preteen and teen. You always know what's wrong with your kid.
Yeah.
But I think the stress is more when it's a baby versus like
it's
an older kid. Because my leg's just like a bit sore. Whereas if it's like a toddler, you're like, fuck, did they break their leg? Are they going to be maimed for life?
To put a time on it, I think it takes like 2 to 3 months before you get to know your kid. Oh, she's crying for dad. Oh, she made a little clicky sound with her tongue. She's hungry. It's like, it's the weirdest thing. Like even the way she cries, it's pain.
You can hear on the cries.
Yeah, it's pain, it's hunger. Oh, she took a shit and now wants to be changed. Like, you get tired. To know it. That's fine. Like, baby language is like, every parent gets it. There are some moments where they will just, like tonight, right before recording, Katara was put in bed and she started crying for no reason. Like, she was in bed, she was comfortable, she had everything she needed, fucking started crying. No consoling her. We knew she was fed because we fed her right before she went to bed. We knew she was clean because we cleaned her diaper before she went to bed. She had clean clothes on, like a good PJ and shit like that. She had her blanket. Apparently, she just wanted to see her mom again. So I was standing there for 15 minutes, like, oh, it's okay. But she didn't want fucking dad because dad's a gigantic fucking no-nut fucking asshole, which nobody likes besides when paychecks come in. And then mommy's the one with the boobies, so
I feel
bring
your pain,
mommy
Andy.
here. Yeah,
I just bought her a €400 fucking vacuum today.
That's also why I was so happy today.
Like 400 fucking euros for a vacuum. It better suck my dick while I clean the house, I tell you what.
No, that's the vacuum user, usually. But for 400 euros, Ali, that has to be a good fucking, like, those balls have to be dripping with saliva.
I'll tell you what,
after you're done with that one.
In 3 seconds, I should be, like, shooting a load into it. It should be that good.
Also, a thing that we've spoken about, like, I know that Alex and I have this conversation a lot, like, because when we were talking about, like, having unwanted kids, like, people a lot of times have kids, they don't give a shit. Or, for example, the one that frustrates me the most, we have a kid because we think it's going to fix our marriage.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, those, they just, like, they boggle my mind. I'm like, what?
we spoke about this in the car today. We were driving, and she mentioned, I was like, I don't think it's ever worked one time in all of human history. Like in the entire history, has never been like, our relationship's better because it was broken. Then we had a kid and it fixed it. Yeah. It's like, no. It papers over the cracks for a year or two, and then it just fucking like shits.
No, what it usually does. Here's the gigantic fucking problem with that. When you're screaming at your husband or your wife every 2 seconds, that usually because you have a problem together. What a kid does, it takes the focus off of each other and it gives you something to focus on.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, then pick up crafts together. You'll focus on crafts then. Make a fucking popsicle stick house or something. I don't give a shit. Like, don't bring kids to fix the situation because they're not. They're gonna be a distraction for a couple of months before you start bickering about that kid, and it's not gonna fix your.
And then your kid grows up seeing the parents fighting and in a shitty household, and your kid becomes a little.
I don't get that.
Prick.
Yeah. I'm always one to maintain the peace, even if it's like against, even if it's gonna make me unhappy. I'm like that sort of person. Like, I'm a big believer that you should never yell at each other in front of your children, because you should teach them to respect both parents. Like behind closed doors, you can have whatever arguments you want, but you should try to avoid like full on insulting and like fight. I'm talking full on fighting, not just like, you didn't do the dishes. I'm talking like full on marriage breaking level fights that people have in front of their kids. Like, you shouldn't do that in front of your kid.
Like it's hard. Like, for example, like me, like my childhood, I see it. I had a perfect childhood. I can't fucking complain. Like, we were poor in a sense. We didn't have much money, but
we still are, Batman.
Yeah, but
that's why she's so happy with you. It reminds her of her perfect childhood.
Should never get rich then, or be fucked.
Yeah, no, but more innocent. Like, I never experienced it as we being poor. Like, but we were aware of it. It was like, but we made do. But my parents, for example, like, I know now as an adult that their relationship was shit, but I never saw them fight when we were kids. Never. I remember one incident that I must have been like 4 or 5 years old, and I remember waking up and climbing down my little bed and just like walking in the hallway, and I see that my parents' bedroom and like the light is on, and I walk in and my dad is on top of my mom, just like, and I was like, Jesus, what the fuck?
For the people at home, she didn't make a sex motion there.
No. He was on top of her, shaking her in the bed, and I was like, I just screamed because I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then my dad was like, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, but she scratched me, and he had like blood running from his face.
Oh fuck.
That's like the only time I remember as a kid. Obviously, then when we got older, like we started seeing more cracks in the walls,
and
like,
the facade.
And the fuck. Like one time, my dad was out drinking too much, and I just remember my mom pouring all of his clothes in the bath and pouring bleach on them.
No, good. That's
I can see your mom doing that.
All I remember was like, I was so sad because one of those socks we had bought for him for Christmas, and I was like, bye, tiger socks. You're bleached now. No, but another thing I wanted to mention, what is your opinion?
You bought your dad's socks for Christmas?
We were poor. I just told you, man.
You were a shitty kid. You weren't poor. That's just shitty to do.
Andy, I never bought my dad a single gift. My mum buys
exactly,
everything.
Proving my point. You were the shittiest kid of all.
But at least I went out and picked up the socks. My kid. Okay.
Actually, no. The first time I ever bought my dad an actual gift from me was a 30-year-old bottle of Jamison's whiskey. So I think I'm okay.
There you go.
I think it's okay. Go. It's like a $500 bottle of whiskey to make up for.
Fucking, that's a good gift to give. Yeah.
20 years of not giving him shit.
Drink it away for one night.
Yeah, and then he drank some of it, and then like 5 years after he opened it, I'm like, you haven't finished this, I'm gonna fucking drink it. I paid for it, and I just started drinking it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But one thing we usually discuss with Alex is implementing like rules for who can have kids and can't have kids. What is your opinion on that? Like restricting who can have kids and who
in an ideal world. Obviously, it's not really possible.
No, it's not possible.
How do you mean? How do you mean? Who can have kids? And give me an example. Of that.
Okay. I'll give you a perfect. Like, I honestly believe that in the future, I think this would be wonderful. When you're born, they put like this chip in your brain that stops like you being able to reproduce. Right? Like, you can have sex, but you just cannot have like kids
with a chip in your brain.
Yeah, or whatever, right?
This
chip in your body that controls controls like your hormones, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And to enable the ability to have kids, you have to pass like financial goals. You have to be able to pass like relationship stability. So, you didn't just meet one day ago and fuck overnight and a kid pops out 9 months later. You have to meet these criteria. That's like, well, you would probably be a good parent. You can actually afford to bring up your kids, so you're not going to live in some fucking ghetto.
Coming from a nerd standpoint, you're talking about a Kryptonian society.
Yeah, I think it would be wonderful.
And Krypton was fucking destroyed, and Superman was the only survivor, and he was a good kid because he was born out of love and not out of persuasion.
He was allergic to a rock.
Look. I genuinely think that it shouldn't. I think there should be a limit per family. I think after your third kid or something, people should stop, because there does come a time where somebody cannot provide. I think you should be able to be a fucking millionaire can have 17 kids. I wouldn't give a shit, because I know he would be able to provide for these children. I think in a normal household, like normal fucking financial situation where there's not being any drug use or alcohol use, blah, 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 there's like up to 3 is manageable, I think. I really, honestly would freak out if I had 4 kids, because I know I'd have to work myself. My kids wouldn't see me. I'd be working out. I'd be working every fucking day. I'd be out working and doing chores and like making money. But what life leaves that for me, because you have to be a little selfish still. To answer your question, do I think that should be like, oh, he doesn't have that much money, so no, I don't think that. I think that everybody should be able to have kids. I just think people need to be more personally accountable for their own actions. Absolutely. If you don't want to have kids, let's say past 25, past 30, do like Alex. I think 30 is a good fucking age. If you don't want to have kids by the time that you're 30, if your paternal or maternal clock hasn't kicked in by then, fucking get the snip. Put your cum in a jar just in case you get to it a woman that really, really wants to kid, and but be mature about it. It's personal accountability. Not towards yourself, but towards the life you're about to give to another child.
Yeah. But that's the thing, that frustrates me, because there's so many people, that have kids and don't give a fuck, and they don't care, and they, obviously we shouldn't crankle down on the people that are down in society, but still, I don't think drug addicts should be able to have kids. You're not gonna care for the kids. You have a problem yourself. Be selfish and take care of yourself first before you decide to have kids.
I do believe that should be a standard, that if there was a chip, the only standard that would have to be out there is health-wise. For example, drug use, as long as you're not clean, as long as you're not clean for, let's say, 2 years, can't have kids. Perfectly fucking fine with that. Because here's a problem with drug users and kids. I know a lot of drug users. They never have money for their kids, and they're also always asking for money, for the kids and the baby and blah blah blah. But they always find the next fucking drugs. Of course. The next time they're gonna get high, they always find money for that. But they have difficulty buying a fucking salad for their kid. So yeah, implement the fucking chip in the brain. And if it's unhealthy, if he has an unhealthy life, fucking snap it so he can't fucking reproduce. I'm fine with that. Also, because there's people out there that have an accident or decide to have a kid, and then the kid has a gigantic fucking chance to have a horrible life because of some illness that's like in the family or whatever. Like if it's above, let's say 55 to 60% sure that kid...
that was one of the other things in my idea. Yeah, if you have like chronic diseases in your family, just like, you can't.
If the chance is too high for that child to have a good life, I don't think it should be born, period.
Yeah.
I have one other thing to add.
I want to add a thing too.
I was going to say, if you're too old.
Yeah.
If you're like 60, like there's that, do you know Bernie Ecclestone, the guy who used to run Formula One for like 40 years?
Yeah.
He's like 89 fucking years old, and he literally last year had a kid.
Yeah.
Why? You're going to be dead in like 3 years, and your kid will never have a father.
On the other hand, that kid's going to be filthy fucking rich, and he'll never have the difficulty of being,
but I think it doesn't matter if you're rich. If you still have daddy issues, you're still going to be a little shit.
Obviously, you can be rich and have daddy issues. It's more fun that way.
Usually the rich ones do have daddy issues. That's the rich ones and the really poor ones. Everyone in the middle is like pretty okay.
Yeah. Well, another thing, obviously, with old age, like this could be like, I will do another episode down the line in the future about other subjects related to this. But for example, like couples having kids when they're too old.
Yeah, when the woman and the man is too old.
Yeah. Like, for example, like a childhood, like someone I knew.
Yeah.
They're extremely Catholic. Like their parents were extremely Catholic.
Okay.
And the wife got pregnant when she was over the age of, I don't know, 40
35.
Something.
Yeah.
No, 40, like 46, 40.
A healthy kiss is like 35 up until that
But
time,
the thing is, obviously, once you get kids when you're older, the risk of everything gets much higher. So obviously they had a kid. Mostly Down syndrome and open back when they get born with an open back. So they had a kid that, like, when I knew them, like the kids, we were around 15 when we knew each other. So they were around sort of like, they were 3 and they were all sort of the same age as me. And then they had a little sister that was like 8 that had Down syndrome because the parents had it when they were much older.
Yeah.
And I just like could never get over the fact that, because the other kids, the healthy kids, were literally raising their sister, which is like, so in a sense, so selfish from the parents' point, like, perspective, because you're taking away their childhood. Like, I know that they would do it because it's their sister and they love her no matter what, but why would you have a kid? Like, and literally, like, the mom passed away, like, when the kid, not much later in life, like, after I knew them. Why would you have kids at that age? Like, why would you put that on your other kids? Like, I don't know. It frustrates me.
It's not fair. That's why I say I think the only possible solution to this is not implementing like a chip or whatever. It's because that's forced, and I'm all for freedom. I think this is genuinely about the only thing you can never ask a human, and that is personal accountability for what you're doing. So I genuinely, I like you guys' idea of saying, like, look, I don't know if I want my own child, but I am willing to adopt one. Because one, you help solve a problem, which is something this podcast is about, and something, it helps solve a problem, and it does give you a solution to your own problem at that point in time as well. The only question that I have is, like, when you have that kid, of course, this isn't a question you'll be able to answer, but like that pops up immediately in my head. Once you have that kid and have that joy of like, oh, I'm raising something and this is fun, like, what would it be like to have my own? Once that question is in your head, you're gonna get fucked. Like, it's like, that's why I think it's a good thing if you get the snip, Alex, at 30 years old, which you said is in a couple of months.
18 months, a year and a half.
18 months, yeah, you're counting the days, aren't you, you fucking dickhead?
Yeah, Ali's gonna tell my mom, she's gonna ring her and be like, I tried to stop him. I'll be like, no, she didn't.
Like, his mom will be on the next flight fucking here to beat the shit out of him.
She's given up by now. She's starting to hassle my little brother, so it's awesome.
She started to slow down on hassling us, because that's the thing. Well, like, she would never, like, all the time, like, when are you having kids? When are you having kids? When are you having kids?
And her dad once,
my dad too.
Me some
when are you having kids?
Questions.
Oh, that was the funniest thing. Because my dad was one of those persons that I don't like, that had a kid when he was older. My dad is 55, 56, I don't know. Okay. And he has my little brother that's 5. So he must have been around 50, 51 when he had my little brother. Yeah.
Okay.
So we went over for dinner one night at like him and his ex-girlfriend's house. And we're sitting, and then they tell us like, oh, we're having a kid. And I was just like sitting there like,
Jesus.
really?
And this is all in Spanish, so I'm sitting there just like, oh, hey, what's going on, everybody?
And
Looks
I'm
a
just
bit
like,
weird.
I have this face like, really? And Alex doesn't understand. And then my dad turns around to Alex and just like, oh, when are you giving me grandchildren? It's like, you just told us you're having kids and you're asking for grandchildren?
He wants them
You're
to grow up
making
together.
your own, Grandpa.
Yeah, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
at him.
But then another day on the bus, my friend was visiting from Australia. This was just after we got married, and my best friend was over, and we were all catching the bus to Ali's mother's place with my friend and her dad. And her dad's just like, so now that you're married, when are you giving me kids? And if you have a son, can you call him Enrique? Because in Swedish he can be called Henrik, and in Spanish we can call him Enrique. And I was just like, A, I'm not having a kid, and B, if I had a fucking kid, I ain't calling it Enrique. Are you fucking serious? Like, what the fuck?
That's my dad's second name. That's why he wants.
Yeah.
Because we can't name him Alejandro because we can't have another fucking Alejandro in the family because everyone's called
Actually,
Alejandro.
Alejandro is such a nice name, though.
Or everyone is called Alejandro. My dad's Alejandro. My uncle's Alejandro. My cousin's Alejandro.
You are, but you're just the
I'm
female
Alejandra.
version.
Like, we have so many Alejandros. It's not even fucking
Okay.
funny.
Be original, Alejandri.
Alejandri?
Alejandri with an
Okay, look,
epsilon.
I'll
with a
call
Y
him
at the end.
Jesus because he came from me.
Jesus.
Okay? Call him Jesus.
Jesus. Okay, I think we need
That's
to
about
wrap
it.
this up now because now he's going fucking
But I
mad.
think as far as that's the most important thing you'll get away from this episode is personal accountability is so fucking important in any aspect in your life. But if you're gonna decide on somebody else's life, which is what you're doing when you're having a kid, then make sure you're doing the right decision and make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because like, holy fucking shit, it is not an easy task to do. But again, you're gonna live for those tiny moments. It's not going to be about the big moments anymore. It's not going to be about a good life, and it's not going to be about a happy 24/7. But to bring it back to the beginning of the episode, I really think, given the options, I wouldn't know what to pick. There's so many good things on the other side.
The thing for me as well is like I just have aspirations. Like I want to just travel the world and like visit as many places as I can.
If you have one kid, you'll still be able to do that. 2 kids, no fucking way.
Yeah, but see, I have a rule. If we have 1 kid, we're having 2 because one is always a selfish asshole, especially in middle class families because they've never heard the word no before or learned how to share.
No. That's Jace. Jace is the asshole.
Yeah, so I
Katara
refuse
is like
to have
the fucking princess of the house.
She's a baby still.
She can. Yeah, all she does is cry, sleep, and fucking poop, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, I'm in like this. I'm either 0 or 2. There ain't no 1. And I'm definitely not going. I grew up with 2 brothers, like 3 boys. I ain't fucking doing that. I grew up with that.
I thought about that, dude. Like, I'm putting Jason in an awkward situation. 1 sister that's way older than him, and then 1 sister that's a little bit younger than him. Jace is fucking fucked for the rest of his life.
He's never getting any women because they're either too old or too young.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Although if his sisters have, like his younger sister has only 2 years of age difference, so if his younger sister brings home some honeys from her in class and shit, they look good, and he picks up on it, fucking, you better be sure that dad's gonna be sitting on the sidelines saying like, oh, that's a slut, wouldn't date her, but you can bang her for sure. Like, I'm gonna show him the ropes.
Yeah, and you also got to remind your kid as well, like the ones that look super hot in high school always turn out to look trash by the time they're 30. You want the one that's just in the middle because they mature and they become like a genuinely beautiful woman, like a fine wine.
Nah, what you want to do is the exact same thing you did, buddy. You need to pick the fucking with Ali. You pick the weirdest fucking one. Those are fucking fun.
Oh, dude, the sex is great because they're fucking weird.
There you go. You buy them a 400 euro vacuum cleaner, they suck your balls off for a half an hour.
And hey, she'll sacrifice babies. I mean, it's win-win.
Okay, thank you. This has been At Random Podcast. I'm cutting it off right
social
there.
Social media.
Yes, I'm getting
Discord.
there if you shut the fuck up.
People can see this abomination.
yeah, so come and join our Discord. And come and see when we record live. We have cameras on. Come and join us. Listen in. And we have a bunch of chats. If you want to hang out and talk, we'll be around. Also, go follow us at our Instagram. That is @random.podcast.
There you go.
So at.random.podcast. And the Twitter is...
Oh shit, she got it 2 weeks in a row.
Shut the fuck up. What's the Twitter?
The Twitter is @_randompod.
There you go.
Go give us a follow, retweet, like, whatever. Just if you got ideas, just DM to us, or even better, join the Discord and put it in the episode suggestions channel. But yeah,
and this week's promo is if you DM us on Instagram and put your phone on vibrate and shove it up your pussy, we'll send you a bunch of DMs, like 200 in a row.
I'm not backing
There's no other podcast out there doing this.
Fair enough. Sure.
Let's get people off.
Job.
Maybe don't put it in your pussy. Just like rest it on your clit.
No,
like spread it to the gods and then just let it.
All right.
Sit there.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.